Okay. Hi, all my witches, ghost ghouls, magical makers. So I want to chime in on the whole discussion about witchcraft and activism. And by the way, before I start this, and this will be somewhat related, I just saw a tarot video on YouTube, and the reader had posted content that ended up having some technical difficulties after it was uploaded. And she said that there were people in her comments who were like angry and mad. And she was legitimately sorry to those people, but I say to those people, fuck off. Go elsewhere. Shoo, be gone before a house drops on you. You don't belong in those spaces. There is a time for dark. There is a time for sacred rage. That is not the time, nor is it appropriate. Go use that rage, channel it for better things. I'm drinking this juice box because I am a type 1 diabetic and I have a low blood sugar, so, but it's late and I want to do this video, and I tend to channel my anger best when it's late. So I was an activist long before I acknowledged I was a witch, and that's another conversation for another time. But I've really been learning and understanding how I incorporate, because being a witch is it's not just this thing that you say, and it's not just this lifestyle choice. I know I look like the type of witch that's just in it for the aesthetic, but my actual practice is very different than how I present aesthetically. Being a witch is just something that's in you. It's a part of who you are, just as much as being an activist is. I've always had an activist spirit, even as a child. And speaking of being a type 1 diabetic, I, as a kid, often did speaking engagements, like as a very young child, like 8 and 9, about type 1 diabetes, and about advocacy. So this spirit goes way back. It must have been something I was born with. So naturally, being a witch does not mean that I'm not an activist, that I don't use my abilities, my powers, my magic for that purpose. And, you know, it's interesting, witches who want to say that, you know, it's okay for them to not be political. I mean, bitch, being a witch is political. You know, we are anti-establishment. We are the speakers of fucking truth. How can you not be political? And the climate we're living in, I mean, we're going to be the first ones. Okay, well, let's not get crazy. I'm a fucking white woman who presents very feminine, like I'm good. You know, if I can keep my mouth shut, but I don't, hence here we are. But there are people who are in bodies that are a lot less safe than mine. And you know what? I'm not going to sit in my privilege and feel my own safety if others don't have it. So that just all is a part of my witchcraft. And I feel it's really doing a disservice to all of us, those who want to say that it's okay for them to not be political, that it's okay for them to just have their little practice for themselves, or I don't know, making 6 figures a fucking year using that practice, but not actually speaking up and having a fucking voice to bring about systemic change that needs to happen in this society. I don't know. Now you have your panties in a bunch. Sorry, not sorry. I think that we're living in a world where we're literally watching people stumble out of ruined, bombed buildings, holding the body parts of their loved ones. We are watching people systematically be erased from history books and from society. There is, and I say this with no hyperbole, an actual war being waged on people living in certain bodies and certain identities. And you're gonna sit there and tell me that you don't need to be political, that that's okay. I'm sorry, that's not okay for anybody. It's not okay for me with my non-witch friends, and it's not okay for my witch friends. If you can't use whatever ability you have for the good of all, I don't know what you're practicing. I don't know what the point is. Because isn't that the whole point? That we come to this journey and we get to a point where it extends beyond us. I mean, we're literally a source of light, and it should extend outside of us to help the world. That doesn't mean sitting silently, complicitly, allowing the shit to happen. Yes, there's a time and a place, and there's a time and a place to be more lighthearted or to just address the witchiness of it all. But if we're not, especially those of you with a fucking platform, what are you doing? How are you helping people? I mean, legitimately, how are you helping people? Because we should be using our witchcraft to help people. And there's a place that anybody of any belief, of tradition, of religion, if you are not using it to help people, what is the fucking point? So that's my 2 cents to the conversation. I don't know, man. I don't know. If your hearts are not breaking and your minds are not just bent and frazzled by what we are witnessing, and you still don't think you need to stand up and use your voice, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. We should be there alongside people, not only helping to dismantle the system, but to bring change and to bring solace and comfort to people who truly need it. And let's read the fucking room. If I hear one more person talk about light and love and you know, if you just manifest hard enough, you'll have the fucking life of your dreams. You want to go to fucking Gaza and tell people that? I mean, seriously. Do you want to go to the streets and tell the people who are unhoused that? You want to go tell them that they're just not manifesting enough and loving themselves enough to have their own home and income? Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm a little wound up now. I think I'm going to go have to channel this into something else. I think I'm going to do some writing because I need to channel this elsewhere. So, I don't know. I truly love everybody. But, you know, if you disagree with this, then maybe don't follow me.